welcome to Homegrown. I'm Taryn, and first let me start by saying thank you to you for trusting me to help facilitate this journey for you. I really wanted to start with a video to welcome you to the experience and to share with you how you might engage with Homegrown and a little bit about my background and why I've created this program, and also the way in which I've recorded and created this program as well. So I am a women's physiotherapist or pelvic floor therapist, and I've been working purely with women for the last 6 years. So really since the birth of my first child, I had this deep calling, this awareness that I wanted to work purely with women. And I had no idea of what capacity and how that would look like. It was a time in my life where I was questioning everything, particularly my work and how I wanted to spend my time when I was away from my children in a way that really was filled me up, fueled my life, fueled my soul, and felt really connected for me. And so this was a time of a lot of unsureness, confusion, questioning, and at that same time I was for myself really focused on triathlon and really wanting to perform at the age group world championships was one of my goals after having my little girl. And so I really was leading into this pathway of continued health and wellness and fitness, and I was working as a hospital physiotherapist at the time, but I knew that I wanted to work with women, health and fitness, wellness, and it started to come about that I was, engaged in this triathlon community and sharing about women's health, and then really the doors of pelvic health as a whole opened for me. And I started then with study in particularly for women's health and pelvic floor physiotherapy. And then I had my second child 2 years and 2 months and 2 days and 2 hours later, and her birth for me was really magical and beautiful, quite swift, and the recovery process was quite the opposite. It was a long recovery process. It was quite confronting for me to feel new ways in my body, to have that challenge of pelvic pain, a long, slow journey back into movement and fitness, and really this a really struggling relationship with my body, because it was so capable and strong, and my postnatal journey previous to that was so swift and so ease-filled, and then I was really faced with quite the opposite of that. And then that really helped me to understand my relationship with my body and how I viewed it as a very functional machine, and then led me down this whole new pathway of wellness and integrated pelvic health, and looking at pelvic health at a whole new level, where the physical and functional was just one component, and then the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual really started to blend together. And for myself, the physical and functional components, I knew how to address those, and I was working with other practitioners in my journey, but from a very physical standpoint alone, I wasn't able to create pelvic wellness and also whole body wellness. And it wasn't till I created a new relationship with my body and a new asking from my body rather than a trying to fix my body approach, I really shifted into a communication with my body as to how do I nourish my body, how do I work with my body, how do I see my body as a profoundly wise vessel that can show me the way to healing and recovery. And so of course then I couldn't ignore this whole new scope of pelvic wellness, and I then integrated that approach into my work with women. And now women come to me as a more holistic practitioner. I often see women who've already had quite a journey with a physical alone approach and then come to me saying, I really sense there is more to this than the physical and functional alone. And I've done the pelvic floor exercises, I've done some down training and some relaxation, but I really sense that there's more here. And that's when we start to work on the emotional, energetic, and spiritual plane alongside the physical body, and we open up a new world of healing potential. And so this offering is really for women who are on that journey of postnatal recovery, but also women I've met alongside the journey, and for my own self being pregnant for the 3rd time now and moving through this, I can see how my relationship with my body would have been so much more challenged had I not had the experiences that I have with working with women in the way that I do and working with my own body in my own way that I have. So I've come from a very strained and struggling relationship with my body, and I've worked alongside my body to create this whole new beautiful relationship that feels really connected, that feels really in acceptance of the transformations and transitions that we move through in pregnancy and postnatal phases. And so now I can really see the benefits of being attuned and in tune with your body during your pregnancy. And I have been working with women most recently who have a lot of questions around pregnancy, pelvic health during pregnancy, early postnatal care, but alongside that, who feel very challenged by the changes in their body and unsure about how to trust that they know how to move their body, trust how to connect with their body, trust how to feel empowered going into their birth, but also how to create this more connected relationship in a way that's less critical and less functional and physical and concerned by the appearance of their body, and more so that deep appreciation of the beautiful changes that our body goes through, but also at the same time feeling strong and capable and resilient, and knowing that our bodies are designed for pregnancy, designed for birth, designed to hold babies and birth babies. So that's really where I'm coming from. I want to also share how to work with this program. And on the how level, this is really for you to decide and for you to know that you are the expert in your body, and that there is a framework that I've set out in terms of a way that would make sense to me to work through the program, But in saying that, there is absolutely no right or wrong way that you could move through this. And so if you feel called to listen or work with a particular workshop first, then by all means move straight towards that workshop. And in that workshop, I might describe or discuss things that you then realize, oh, I actually want a bit more awareness and knowing and knowledge around that. And so I'm going to choose to go to this workshop now, which is perhaps more around the deep core and pelvic floor and the anatomy and the science. And then I have that understanding so that then I can understand what Taryn's talking about in more detail in this workshop. But there is absolutely no right or way you could move through it. And you will most likely, I anticipate, go through a workshop and then use some practices, and then put those practices on repeat for a while, and then come back to perhaps a wisdom offering or a different workshop, so that as you're learning and as you're communicating and feeling more things in your body, then you come back for the support or to gain more understanding through observing and listening to the videos, and mostly through the practice in your own body. And lastly, I want to share with you how I've recorded this and why I've done it in the way that I have. So I've made this recording simply on my phone. I've done it in snippets of time that I've been able to have during school holidays, whilst my children are present, and at sometimes I have been able to have moments of complete solitude and filming. And whilst I am here, my energy is completely here with you, but sometimes there might be a little bit of noise in the background, and I've really made it an ease-filled way of recording for me. And this is because how I'm setting up my life and what feels aligned and valuable for me is to have this be easy and have this feel accessible, both for me so that I can actually create the content and offer it, but also a deep permission piece that this doesn't need to be perfect, in the sense that I don't need the most beautiful lighting and the most high resolution camera and the best sound and all of that sort of thing, because for me, having all of that, and I've tried that in the past, makes it feel very disjointed, very disconnected, and makes it feel so hard for me that I actually never get it out there and never share what I have been learning over these past 6 years. And so for me, it's a deep permission and a knowing that my value is not to have perfection, but to have connection and to have this, to create. And so when you move through this journey of pelvic health and whole body wellness, we start to see the interconnectedness of everything, and we start to become more aware of our values, and we start to become more aware of where in our life are we making things really hard for ourselves and stagnant, and really shutting ourselves off from this wisdom that we have to offer the world, and this creativity that we have within ourselves that we want to birth and share with the world. And so for me, it's really embracing what I have learned on my own journey and sharing from a space of pure authenticity, which for me looks like this. It looks like, at this point in my life, at this phase and stage that I'm in, it looks like recording on my phone. It looks like sometimes having a little bit of background noise. It looks like me sharing what I have to share, trusting that you as the woman in your body, have the wisdom, the capacity, that you are the expert in your body, and that I am sharing the pieces that I have gained and experienced from a personal experience approach, also from a professional experience approach and a clinical understanding, and then also from all of that beautiful wisdom I've gained through the women who I have been able to, and so privileged and honored to work with over the past 6 years, because it's working with these women and finding our patterns of nature, finding how do we really feel in our body, that deep exploration and that deep sharing of the emotional, energetic, and spiritual journey that these women have been on. And so I'm deeply appreciative to all of the women who I've worked with who have helped me on my own personal journey, and also shared their body's wisdom with me, so that then I can now share it with more and more women. So welcome to the program. Welcome to Homegrown. I am so glad that you have invested in yourself, and that you have chosen to trust me to be part of the facilitation of your whole body health journey. It really means so much to me, and this work is really my life's work and my soul work that really fuels everything within my life. So my deepest thanks to you.